Bank 1's compound interest rate is 30% yearly. Bank 2's compound interest rate is 0.25% weekly, 52 weeks in a year. If the rate of compound interest is represented by the equation below, where n equals years and r is the rate of growth, which bank has the better deal? So we've got Bank 1 here with a compound interest rate of 30% applied once a year, and we have Bank 2 with a compound interest rate of 0.25% compounded weekly, or 52 times a year. We want to see which one has the better interest rate, but it's hard to compare because we're looking at apples and oranges right now. One bank compounds yearly and one bank compounds weekly. Let's write out some of the formulas for these banks' compound interest rates and see if we can find a way to make them look more similar and therefore compare them. So the rate for Bank 1, if we plug it into our formula for compound interest rate over here, is 1 plus, and 30% turns into 0.3 raised to the, since n, as told in our equation or in our formula, n is years and Bank 1 compounds yearly, that's one time a year, then our n over here is simply n, our exponent is simply n. Bank 2 has a rate of 0.25%, which equals, in decimal form, 0.0025. But it's compounded not once a year, but 52 times in 1 year. So it's not just raised to the power of n, it's raised to the power of 52 times n. And if we simplify what we have so far, that means Bank 1 has an interest rate of 1.3 to the n. Bank 2 has an interest rate of 1.0025 to the 52n. So Bank 1 is giving us a pretty high interest rate, but it only compounds it once a year. Bank 2 is giving us a much smaller interest rate, but it compounds it 52 times in a year, which is a lot more often than Bank 1. Which of them is the better offer? We can use our properties of exponents to simplify out, to change and rewrite the Bank 2 expression, because 1.0025 to the 52n is the same as 1.0025 to the 52. All of that raised to the power of n. And let's use a calculator to see what 1.0025 to the 52 equals. That gives us 1.14 to the power of n. Now we are comparing compound interest rates that are being applied once a year. So this means that Bank 1 gives us 30% interest rate applied once a year, whereas Bank 2 only gives us 14% interest rate applied once a year. So Bank 1 still has the better interest rate offer.